Hello, everybody. Welcome to a little intermission analysis. I'm Brandon Mileski, Pat Micheletti with me, and you're watching us on the KFAN YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter channels, and we appreciate it. The Wild currently have a 1-0 lead over the Colorado Avalanche after one period, and Pat, the story kind of coming into this game for the Wild, I mean, they were getting scoring from everywhere, but specifically the Zuccarello, Kaprizov, Rask line, and they're back on the board again tonight.
Very impressive, right? I mean, every time Kaprizov makes a play all the time. I mean, whether it be in the neutral zone, whether it be, stealing pucks, just terrific. And what do you say about Victor Rask, right? He's getting in the right spots, made the right play with the pass back to Kaprizov. Maybe it was a little too much tic-tac-toe, but it worked, right? So yeah, they're and Zuccarello's feeling it. So get him the puck, right? It's great to see. The big story to me, Brandon, in that first period, and we didn't talk about it the last game, but the goaltending.
Yes.
The goaltending. I mean, now granted, they did a great job, only gave up, 7 shots, I think. But 3 of them or 4 of them were grade A chances.
And there was a post and a missed net from Rantanen too. That
right.
And there's another play that even on the post, I thought Kakkonen cut off the angle to the point where there was nowhere to shoot at.
Yeah, and then I think Nichushkin, where Kakkonen, put the pad out.
Yes,
I think he got hurt on that play. To be quite honest, I mean, he looked. I was watching him after, and he was kind of grimacing a little bit. Hope he didn't pull a groin. Who knows? But terrific.
By the way, we can see your comments or questions in the chat portion, so we will be able to see those. So we'll answer any of your questions if you have. And I'm glad you brought up Kakkonen, Pat, because I thought in the San Jose game, they scored 6 goals. They were having lots of fun.
Right. You can get loose.
San Jose had a decent amount of chances in that game, and yep. I thought Kakkonen really kind of kept them at bay, and because the score was kind of a large separation for most of that game, his play went under the radar a little bit, but he's been good again tonight. And moving forward here, I think, I think we would have seen Cam Talbot by now. He's been off the protocol list, for a couple of games now, and I think they want to get him back in. But Kakkonen's playing so well, you can't take him out.
Why would you? Ride the hot guy, and Cam will get in. There's no doubt about it. And technically he's still the number 1 guy. But back to the San Jose game, Brandon. What happens when you get a lead in a 3-goal lead, a 4-goal lead? You get loose, right? And that's when your goalie really has to come up big, because there's probably going to be more chances on you. And you're right, in that game, he's just been really good.
He has been. And back to Kaprizov, I'm glad you mentioned, part of what makes him successful is he is good away from the puck. He does he comes up with pucks that other players are not expecting to come up with. No. I mean, to force a 2-on-1 and a 3-on-1 in the same period, they score on the 3-on-1. I'm still not exactly sure how that Zuccarello goal went in. I have a feeling that went off the defender's shin pad, because I feel like there's no other way for that angle to go in from where he shot that puck. I feel like it was kind of going this way off the shin pad back in to give himself a little bit of an angle.
No, it went in clean. It went in clean on the short.
Are you serious?
Side. Oh yeah.
Yeah. I would have to see that again.
Take another look at it, and you'll see. He kind of, I'm surprised he got the shot off, because the pass came to him and it kind of bounced
behind him.
Yeah.
Oh, it was behind him. He had to reach. Good thing he has that long stick.
And then he had to grab it and then shoot it. I'm like, wow, man, I don't know, but nonetheless, really, really good start for the Wild tonight.
Jeffrey wants to know where has this Zuccarello guy been? Last year, Pat clearly did not have the year he wanted to have. I think we know now, and I know it's a small sample size of 4 or 5 games here, but he had to have been laboring with an injury, because he's always been good for most of his career. He's clearly, borderline,
skating
elite right now.
Yep.
And obviously playing with a Kaprizov is much different than playing with Galchenyuk.
Yeah.
I think that's going to help him put you in beneficial spots, but he's been unbelievable.
And I will add this, and again, not a shot against the coach, but I think he has a little bit more freedom. I think Everson, and we saw that when he took over, he's giving the guys more freedom to be creative. And to take a few more chances. And, so far, so good.
I do want to talk about the power play they had. Two aspects I want to talk about. One, I love that when Fiala was out there, the power play went through Fiala. I think that's the way. It's the way you have to do it when he's on the ice. That's what was good for the team last year. And I know it's worked the last 2 games where they've scored a power play goal in the last 2 games. They were just rolling lines.
Yep.
I still don't know how the way Zuccarello and Kaprizov have been playing the last couple of games. They don't find ice time on the first power play, and you've got the Hartman, Foligno, Parisi. I know they were only out there for like 30 seconds at the end, but it boggles my mind. I have no problem with Fiala being out there because I think we know he can be elite power play type guy. But it boggles my mind that the way that line's been playing, that they don't get out there in the power play in the first period.
It could be psychological too, a mental thing, and saying, hey guys, we're just going to do this for a while, take a break from feeling all the pressure that you're out there. I thought when the Fiala power play, that's what we'll call it. They had chances and they moved the puck well, and it was a good power play. Didn't score, but had chances. What more can you ask for?
I mean that Dumba blast. I mean,
yeah,
how quick was that release?
Right. Yeah. I mean, it was great. And you want to talk about posts? Well, they hit 2 pipes that period too. Rask hit 1, Dumba hit 1. I mean, it was a good period of hockey.
I already know your answer to this, but I'll bring it up because it seems to be a hot topic of conversation right now. John Thomas says, I like the way the Wild are playing. I've seen 2 articles on Jack Eichel wanting out. One article states the Wild is a trading partner, Dumba, JEE, and Talbot for Eichel. Any truth? Too much from Wild for me. I would say that's not enough. I don't think there's any chance they would take that. I'm talking about Buffalo. Buffalo said.
What was the trade again?
He said Eriksson, Ek, Dumba, and Talbot, and I would say there's no way Buffalo takes that.
Why would they? No.
Yeah, no.
And secondly, there's 5 teams ahead of the Wild. Probably 6, probably 7, probably 8. I'm being kind. Wild are not in on it. No chance. I don't think it's the direction they want to go, even though they do need a center. I don't think they want to take on a 10-year, $80 million contract for a guy who's not a great leader. Point a game guy, whatever. But he hasn't won there.
Are you ready? Are you ready for your typical Minnesota sports take?
Please. Here
it comes. Witch Hunt says, I foresee Kaprizov going to New York or Toronto when his contract expires. That's Minnesota sports in a nutshell, is it not?
Yeah, why not? Mold them and then let them go. No, they know they have to sign him to a new contract this summer. And guess what? Pay him what he wants. Pay him what he wants.
Yeah, as long as the Wild are fair enough with the contract. We've seen zero indication that Kaprizov is eager to go, be in a big market, right? That's just a typical. Yeah. Well, he's from Russia. He's not from here. We just assume they want to live in the big cities, and frankly, where he's from in Russia, I think he actually enjoys the Minnesota type of outdoors. He's fine with cold winters, fishing, doing all the outdoorsy stuff. To me, it's a matter of you just got to make sure you have the proper talent around him.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's gonna be up to the Wild to provide that.
And quite frankly, Brandon, in the year of COVID that we are in, and he's not fluent in English yet. I think him not having to engage with the media so much this year takes a lot of pressure off of him. Fans not in the stands. That takes a lot of pressure off of him, and he can really get acclimated. And you just look at him though, and that even what I just said, I don't even think it's going to affect him.
I don't think so either.
When it does, because he loves to play. You can just tell he loves the game.
More Kaprizov questioning. Curly Big Cat wants to know: are we concerned that Kirill is too much of a passer? No, I think he can do both.
You do what you'd have to do. That's being called a pretty smart player, and he's going to make the plays that is there. If he has an opportunity to shoot, he's going to shoot. But when you have to make the pass, you make the pass.
I enjoyed his passes in that period, even though the one to Zuccarello on the 3-on-1 was a bit off. I still thought that was the right play to make.
Yep.
And then the one to Rask on the 2-on-1 set up a great chance. Right. Set up a great chance for Rask. Before we go, because we're gonna have second period starting here in a couple minutes. We've been talking about the center position all season long, and at least at least Victor Rask in a small sample size here has settled in with those two big guys. I didn't imagine before the year that Ryan Hartman would be one of your better centers, and it's only a couple games here, but he's been pretty solid there. And he's you saw in the San Jose game, he was showing some playmaking skills. It's not just a defensive center here. He's always, he's been pretty much on the fourth line while he's been here, but he's always had the capability of stepping up into higher lines, and it's almost like he's thriving a little bit, playing in a little bit more of an offensive role.
I'm going to tell you something here, and it might take me a couple minutes. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. But Brandon, I've played with guys, right, that coaches give them a role. And in the game, they do their role, right? They play their role. And then you see them in practice when you're playing a little shinny hockey, and you see that they have ability to score. I mean, to make plays. And I'm like, I'd come, I'd get in the locker room after practice and I'd look at the guy. I'm like, did you practice today? I mean, what was that? You look like Gretzky. He's well, I can do it, but that's not my job. But that's kind of the way the game has changed to the point where it's not the 80s where the Edmonton Oilers just ran everybody, just all over the ice, scored goals left and right, exciting hockey. And now the coaching is we got to defend. We've got to do our job. You are a banger. You are a checker. You are this, you are that. And guys play their role. And so, my point is some of these guys have more talent than they're able to show on a nightly basis.
Last
that make
thing.
Sense?
Yes. Yeah. Kevin Fallness on Beyond the Pond, I would say, is a perfect example of that. Last thing, because I know we got to go back because the second period is going to start shortly. The most eye-opening thing in that first period, Pat,
yes,
is the Wild are willing to play an up and down the ice, wide open game with the Colorado Avalanche, and it's working.
Why not hit them where they don't like to be hit? Right. Just take it right to them.
All right, thanks, Pat. We'll talk to you again after the second period is over.
Look forward to it. Thank you.
All right, he's Pat Micheletti. I'm Brandon Mileski. Thank you so much for joining us on all the KFAN social media channels on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. We'll be back after period 2. Hopefully the Wild will still have a lead. Right now they lead 1-0. Thanks for watching. Bye.